Well, good evening, Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. And today is Friday, November the 7th, 2025 at approximately 17:10. That'd be 10 minutes after 5 p.m. Central Time. And I'm at home on Alaska. And we're going to do a straight razor shave, and I don't have a lot to say, but I'll say a thing or two. Let's introduce the equipment. My razor, we're continuing with my mint vintage roll-up collection. 7 razors in that roll-up, and I got a beautiful razor. In fact, it's hard to say which is my favorite. I know the 2 tennis razors are Fritz Brock tennis razors, but this one ranks right very near the absolute top. It's hard to decide. MK, we've got a Helgestrand Eskilstuna, Sweden, I believe is the way it's pronounced. I'm not positive, but MK Ultra 32, which is what I understand is the desired number. And so that's why I got it. MK 32. And it's got all the appropriate stamps, the 3 crowns, etc. It's got the MK on the scales. It's just beautiful. And if I remember correctly, honed this up and finished it on the Shapton Glass series, the 30,000 grit. And it's just we'll see how well it does, but I think it's going to do just fine. And we got the Sterling soap companies. And I like the way Greg Gallant said it. I was just watching him as I was preparing for the shave. This is the 28 millimeter. Being November, he calls it November. And he does apparently some kind of ritual, which is fine, but it coincides with me just fine because I had intended to use this for the next 3 or 4 weeks consecutively for every shave to get it broke in, because we all like the split ends on the boar bristles. But I tell you, this is what, the 2nd or 3rd shave that I've had with this brush, and it's just as soft as could be. And again, let me say a word about soaking. I think this is soaked all of 3 minutes as I was preparing. I should have set it up before I took my shower after I got done with my day's work today. I was glad to hear Greg say that you can now buy the Zenith 31 millimeter boar bristle directly from Zenith. I'm going to check into that. Because I would like to have one. And now I did not buy out Sterling's entire Sterling boar bristle brushes stock. I bought 3 years ago when they first came out with them. I bought 130 millimeter. The following year, I waited to the very end of the season, and they said sold out, and then I came back a few days later and they said in stock. So I called them and I said, "What's up with this?" Well, so I got the lowdown on that, and they had 1 left in stock. And I said, "Well, I'll take it. Thank you very much." And that was a 31 millimeter. And then this year, when they came out with their supply, and each year they came out with the 31 and the 28. I have skipped on the 28. Thinking the 31 will be good enough. Well, the collector in me said, well, not so much. Good enough. And so I had to have it, and at $44 each, I got 2 of them. And I will probably, the ones that are in reserve, never been used, I probably never will use them. And I'm not even sure who I'm going to pass them on to. All this stuff I've got. So anyway, and then my soap is going to be the Martin de Condé Fougère. Martin de Condé Fougère. Got to soak it a little bit. And it does say on the bottom of the jar, I'm not going to turn it over at this very moment. It does say 200 G, which I take to mean 200 grams. And so I've got 5 of their scents in rotation. And so usually very short order, when I start on one, I work my way through them pretty quickly. And so the original, kind of a bergamot lavender, followed by the vetiver, followed by the rose, followed by the fougere, followed by the legume, citrus. So those 5, and I don't know if you can see, but and the jar, when you open up a new jar, it goes right to the very brim. And so you can see that I'm just down to about here with this much left to go. And I've had these now, 4 years? And they're just fabulous. And I would say that they're easily my most favorite soap in my collection, despite all of my sterlings that I have. And look at that. That's just the water. That's the runoff. That's the blooming water right there. I could just shave right off of that if I was of a mind to. And so I really wanted to, I don't want to make a big deal about this, and I don't want to hurt anybody's feeling, but having to soak a brush for 5 minutes is nothing. While you're in the shower, you should, and doing your early prep work, whether it's a shower or other forms of prep work, that's when you soak your brush. When you're doing your stropping, how many laps do you do when you're stropping? 40, 50, 60, 100, 200. And that's when you can do, whether you use a cup and put the brush down in it, whether you use the bathroom sink, and run a sink of hot water. Again, I say it don't matter. But that's when you do your soaking right there. And that shouldn't take more than, however, long how long does it take you to strop? How long does it take you to take a shower? How long does it take you to do the different things in preparation? Now I'm doing this massage to hydrate and pre-lather. But really for the massage, mostly because I want to. I don't know that I've ever seen a website for Zenith brushes, and I'm hoping that Greg Gallant posted one on his shave video today or this afternoon. I understand from the video he's shaving twice a day right now. And that's fine, whatever people's customs and rituals are. So the burn ban has been lifted here in Polk County, Texas, where on Alaska is. And I have ignited my burn barrels and they are doing just fine. I've got more wood than I know what to do with. And while I was still on the road and my wife was preparing the property, hiring the people to do this and that, she got 2 huge stacks of firewood posted up. And when I say huge, I mean huge. From all the downed trees as they were preparing the land to get it ready for moving in the home, the mobile home. And then since I've been home, and doing my little trotting around the property and cutting this and cutting that, I've easily cut another 3rd large stack, not as big as the other 2, but still large. And so now that the burn ban is lifted, I can burn that 3rd one because I want to get rid of it, and I want to move the burn barrels to another location on the property. So I can get some work done on that side of the property instead of having to drag the wood back over to where the burn barrels are. All right, let's get started here. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Very satisfying. Very good. I failed to mention that I've got about 2 days, a little better than 2 days worth of growth of whiskers on my face. 2.5 days, if you want to call it that. Tomorrow morning would have been the third day. The last several shaves have been late morning. I haven't had an evening shave like this in a while. But it's the next several days are going to be easy for me. I don't have a lot of work planned other than burning wood and monitoring the burn barrel, make sure it stays in control. I was very interested, and I'm going to go back to watching your shave video, Greg Gallant. But I was very interested in that Butterscotch, Arkansas. I'd like to know a little bit more about the history on it. Where did it come from? Is it vintage? I think I heard you say that the color Arkansas, the color butterscotch is often regarded as being a long exposure to oil on the stone, so that suggests a more ancient or vintage usage of the stone. Well, as I said, I didn't have a lot to say. And as I think of something, I will surely mention it. But right now, I'm just enjoying the shave with the MK Ultra 32. Well, hell, I said MK Ultra. My mind drifted there. It's just MK number 32. I was thinking about CIA mind control. Sorry. Oh, that's just incredible for a first pass. if you have never used a fougere or a vetiver, you owe it to yourself to. It's very much an outdoor scent, as if you were standing up or standing in a deep old forest with all the underlying ferns and greenery and that forest smell. Not necessarily pine so much, although that might be a part of it, but it's just the greenery. And that's very much what both the fougere and the vetiver scents are like. Yep. So I've got several large pieces of wood. Somebody came in here and tried to cut some of the wood with apparently a chainsaw, and they didn't finish the job. And I've got several sections that are easily 3 and 4 feet long and easily that big around in circumference, and I've got no way to cut them. My electric battery operated DeWalt 20 volt 18-inch bar chainsaw. Can't do it. And so I got a couple of tools coming in tomorrow to see if I can master those pieces and get them broke up into burnable pieces. And before either one of us, my wife or I, walk away from the burn barrels, we always make sure that the flame in the burn barrel is not coming up over the top of the barrel or the rim of the barrel. That way we feel reasonably confident that it's not going to pop and snap, send burning embers out. And the flames are not going to whip around so much to catch something on fire. We wouldn't want that. We've already had one significant fire scare in the properties behind us. Where the fire department has been called out several times. And it's just a rural volunteer fire department. They had to bring in the forestry service on one of the call-outs. Which I thought was interesting. Getting ready to move on to the third pass, the against the grain pass. And as you have been watching with the MK Ultra, there I said it again, MK32, for those of you that don't know, MK Ultra is an old 1950s, 60s, early 70s CIA mind control project. If you ever saw the movie with Jeff Bridges, Men Who Talk to Goats or something like that, it's along that same line. Now, some will say it's more advanced than that and that it continues even to this day. And that may or may not be true. Think of school shootings, think of trans idiots killing. There may be more of that going on. MK Ultra, CIA mind control, setting up of useful idiots. May or may not be happening. I have, without further information, I have little opinion. We could ask Alex Jones, however, and I would tend to believe whatever Alex Jones might say on that subject. I've made comment here recently that I've given up using the left hand on the right side of the face in the against the grain pass, where you would normally come in in that fashion with the left hand. I've set that aside or discarded it in favor of a right hand And I appreciate Sean Staplefeld's comment to me in the last couple of days. And what I call an overhand pass. This is the grip on the razor and the shank are much like this, and you come up. It's not an overhand. It's kind of in line with or parallel to the blade and the shank. This I call the overhand pass because your index finger's on the forward side, your thumb is on the back side. You grip it with the rest of your fingers any way you see fit, and then in almost an overhand fashion, you come in like that. You might get some lather on your fingers as you come across this way, but that's better than the lather getting all jammed up in the pin area on the razor. Oh yeah, very nice, very nice. We'll wipe it off, rinse it off, and then do the finishing strokes. Very nice. All right. Getting closer to the end. Here, I'm going to do the back of my neck and then do the refinements. I'm going to put my brush down into my water and let it get soaking and get all that soap lather into the water, melted and dissolved, and use it as a rinse, final rinse. All right, I'll let that soak. And you may have noticed I did not change razors. I'm still using the MK32 for the back of my neck. All right, there's that. And so that ends the shave, and we will move to the refinements here and be done very quickly. I'm going to set the razors over here. All right, let's do a rinse here in our soap water. I did that to get my face wet so I could put on the alum block. Well, the good news, no nicks, no cut, no blood. There's the Ozma alum block in this little paper cardboard box. I don't know why they don't make a plastic box. You may have seen the sterling alum block that I got here recently. All right, let's make myself some room here and pour this water out. There's the basin I use for my shaving. And why do I do that? Because the sink in my bathroom is completely inadequate. And this is, while that's completely inadequate, this is barely tolerable. This collapses down, and so I can put it under the sink. Easily enough. All right, so there's that. Now, got the alum block. I'm going to go ahead and splash little Thayers, which I've been neglecting and overlooking here lately. Facial toner. Got aloe vera in it, witch hazel, aloe vera formula, lavender scent. All right, so we use the Martin de Condé Fougère and the Sterling Soap Company Boar Bristle Brush made by Zenith. And I'm happy to participate in November. It smells good. I'll give it a better rinse, get all the soap out in a minute or two off camera. And we got some George Thumper coral skin food. And I've got two of these. One's a coral, this coral. And the other was extract of limes. And they're both getting down toward empty, and I need to dispose of them. And so that's a skin food, it's a balm. I'm not quite sure what goes on first. I don't really care. I don't know if there's the atrazine supposed to go on top of that, or if this is supposed to be the final application. Because it's got a nice scent to it, kind of, but I think it's more of a intermediary step than it is a final step. And so with that in mind, Coral Skincare, or whatever it's called. We'll finish that off with Florida water aftershave. And put this back over here on my little rack over here. And that's it. I'm not going to use any powder. I'm going to let it stay as is. I may throw some powder on later when I go to bed. But that's it. Thank you for staying with me, and I'll see you down the road.